after that incident, I finally was like freaking out. But as I said, like when I was asking people for directions there, they're all acting like weird and looked weird or giving me wrong directions. So I didn't know who to trust. And I was just trying to find it on my own. And I finally got mad and I asked, I was like, how do I get off this island? I'm stuck. Can you please help me? And they pointed to a bridge that like I passed around in circles and I somehow didn't see it. And I was like, okay. I get off after a night and not sleeping again. And so I get off the island. I remember I end up in this burrow. And there's this one, I was like so like broken after this and exhausted. And I remember I ended up in this like playground. There was this little kid. It really cheered me up. He was probably like 4 years old. And he was all like happy, excited. But he had one hand. Like something happened to his hand. It was cut off. And he was like asking, he had no one to play basketball with. And I remember he's like, do you want to play a game? And like a happy, excited voice. And I remember it cheered me up during this time. I was like, yeah, of course. Well, I'm exhausted, like no sleep, but I remember I played a game of basketball with him, and I was so exhausted I couldn't even shoot, and I just like wanted him to get 1 point so I could say he won and just make him like feel good. And I remember he finally got a point. I was like, hey, I gotta go. And I remember that thing really cheered me up when I bumped into him because he was all like happy and excited and seemed normal to everything I've seen. Like this happy little kid playing basketball with one arm. And yeah, so I left there and then I was still waiting, like I thought Jesus was coming back for me. I was like wondering what was taking him so long. And I kept walking and I ended up at this bridge. There's so many bridges in New York and I'm not used to it. But I had ended up in this like big bridge with a bunch of highways, but underneath it, it looked like the gates of heaven or something. It looked like really cool looking. Like, and I thought this is where I had to go for Jesus. I thought this is where he wanted me to wait for him because it was all like grass and like green grass and just this bridge, and the columns were so high, and it looked like, I thought it was like, in my head back then, I thought it was like where I was gonna meet him or something. And I remember I was like walking under the bridge and there was like a bike trail and a walking trail, and I was waiting there and he still didn't come. And I was like wondering why didn't he come for me yet, and why he left me with all this crazy stuff going on. And I remember after that, I just like took a walk. There was like a long trail just going under the bridge by the water. And I walked the opposite direction, and then I started seeing those people again, like the weird demonic looking people in crowds. Like they wouldn't just come by themselves, they would come all at once and like drive weird. Like they were like robots, like glitching or malfunctioning. And they would like stop at green lights and not move, or just park with their headlights on, or do like things to try to intimidate me. And they weren't acting normal at all, like just to like scare people. And they had these weird looks. I can't explain it, but these people weren't normal looking. And I remember after that, and it's like when they come, they don't just come by themselves, they come like all at the same time and just out of nowhere and flood me. And I start getting overwhelmed again. I was like, why am I dealing with this again? It's the same looking people, and I'm walking under the bridge and they're all walking like towards me. And I walk to the other end of the bridge, and there's like this little like shortcut. I remember I go around the bridge into this like little shortcut area. It's the other side, other end of the bridge, but there's a door, and I guess this was a Hell's Gate bridge, and there's a door on the other side with like perverted graffiti and like weird cusses and insults, and it says hell on it with a chain. And then my heart dropped, and I thought I had went to hell, and I was like so terrified, and I thought I got left behind. And that was like the door to hell. And I remember I heard an echo of someone inside there, and I was so let down. I thought I got sent to hell. And I remember I was like heartbroken, and I felt like all this strength and hope leave my body. And I remember everybody was walking on the path towards this, like the weird looking demonic people. And I was like, oh, so I'm getting sent to hell with these people. And I remember I was seeing people pray. They're on the benches praying before they would walk towards this direction. And this was all happening in real time. This wasn't like an illusion or something in my head. This was happening. And I remember I looked up in the clouds, because I would always see like shapes of like angels, or I've seen like Jesus in the clouds, and like horses with wings, and just crazy stuff that I've never seen the clouds or sun do before. And I remember I looked up because I was so confused, and I wondering why like I got sent to hell. And there was like an upset face, like a frowning face with two visible eyes I could see in the clouds. And I thought God was upset with me and was sending me to hell. And I remember I was so heartbroken at this point, and thought I wasn't saved, and we're going with these people, or I ended up in hell with these people, and that's where I was, or that's why these people were here. They're acting like that. And I remember it was the worst feeling ever. But I was still in New York, and like everything was still going on, so it was like really weird to me. And then I remember I just felt like my dreams were crushed, and I was heartbroken. I start walking away slowly, like with my head down. I remember these people were like looking at me, laughing, like basically saying, "You got sent to hell with us." And it was like the worst feeling ever. And but I'm still in New York with like traffic going on and all this stuff, so I'm still confused. And then after feeling like really the worst feeling I ever felt in my life, just wanted to die on the spot. I remember I was just sitting there, and after seeing these like demonic entities or whatever laughing, I just built up strength. I was like, no, God would never do that to me. I was like, I'm not giving up right now or losing hope. And I was like, God wouldn't leave me behind. He would never do that. I was like, I left my life behind. I put all my trust. I was like, he's not going to do that to me. And I remember I started walking again, exhausted, not sleeping in the sun, just out of it. And I started walking away from like the path. And I started walking, and I was trying to get that thought of being sent to hell out of my head. I was just saying, no, God would never do that to me. He's not leaving me behind with these people. And it was just like the worst. Like, we don't have emotion in the human dictionary to explain this overwhelming feeling I was having, or emotions. It was just like terrifying and confusing. And I remember I started walking again, just really exhausted, out of it, hungry and tired, carrying a heavy bag around. And I remember I get into a city again, and I don't know which part of New York it was, but it was really busy with buses and taxis. And at this point, I'm just like not caring, and like I'm trying to get to the bottom of what's going on and why hasn't Christ come back for me yet or left me here. And I'm walking through the city, and people are doing that weird stuff again, and it's like getting too overwhelmed. I'm like, what, am I in hell, or like what is going on? Why are these people acting like this? And they're all synchronized, like they're moving the same, like in a synchronized movement, like it was weird, like they're perfectly synchronized, like doing the same movements and everything, like they're being controlled by a remote or something. And I remember I just like didn't, like, I was getting to my breaking point, and I didn't want to deal with this anymore. It was like causing me to go insane. It was like torture. And I remember I'm walking through the city, and I end up, he keeps leading me to churches, and I end up at this church. I went there and I prayed, and I was like, please, like, why am I here? Like, help me, please. I don't want to be here. Please show me what's going on. I'm scared. And I remember I left the church, and in my head I still got that feeling like you want me to protect his churches from these like demonic creatures. And I remember I just like, it said in the Bible, like, smash on like a door of a church or something to reclaim it, or something similar to that. But this was when I was ignorant to the scriptures and taking out a lot of things literally. And I was like, then I thought in my head, like, he wanted me to reclaim his churches first. I remember smashing on the door, and then these demonic creatures would freak out, and I like told them they're all going to hell. I was like, but they're in human bodies, like doing human activities, but like just following me and acting like weird. And I remember I was like telling them, I was like, I'm gonna find each and every one of these churches and reclaim them. I was like, you guys are going to hell for doing this to his house. And I remember there was like pride flags and all of that. I was like, you don't disrespect his houses like that. I'm gonna find them all. And then they had this like terrified look, and they would leave me alone. And then I thought, like, God wanted me to reclaim every single church. I remember I was telling them, I'm like, I'm gonna find every one of them. And I was like, you're gonna burn when he comes back. And I was so like, so furious, so scared, so every emotional at once. And I thought I figured out what was going on, and God wanted me to reclaim like all these churches from these like blasphemous and people disrespecting. And I remember they start like run away, and then I was getting like this like really anger, like God wanted me to reclaim these churches, and these guys were like his enemy, and I was like getting really angry and didn't want them around me. And I started walking like really fast, like with my chest out. And I was like, get out of my way. And I was like, get away from his houses. But they would leave when I said that. And no one would like cause a scene or be like, what is this guy doing? Like, they were all listening and like looking in shame. And then they would like say things like F you, or I would be like, you're gonna burn in hell. Wait till my father gets his hands on you. And I remember they would like look in shame, and then like I was all sweating, exhausted, and like these girls like, oh, you're sweaty, you. Like, they would just keep insulting me. Like, and then I remember I told these girls, like, I was like, so you're going to hell. I was like, I swear you're going to hell for what you did. And I was like, you know what you did. And they like looked in shame and like walked away. And it was so weird. Like they knew what they were doing, or knew what was going on, and it was, no one like argued it or anything. And it was really weird to me. I still can't make sense of that. And then getting like cussed out, and I started walking like speeding around, and the crosswalks would just keep going off for me. They still do to this day. I don't have to press a button. Once I show up at a light, it would just turn red and the crosswalk will go. And like I know it's Jesus just letting me cross the street. Like, this is some weird phenomenon that started happening. And I remember I was just walking across, and these cars were still trying to hit me and getting like angry at me, like racing towards me. And like in my head, I'm like, no weapon formed against me is gonna prosper. God's not gonna let anything happen to me. Like, he wants me to protect his churches and reclaim them. And I'm like walking across the street while it's green, and the buses, all New York traffic, is speeding towards me. I just close my eyes, and in my heart I'm like, I'm not gonna get hurt. When I had PTSD from getting hit by a car before, so this was a big step for me. And like, I wasn't scared. It was just like I knew God was gonna let me get hit, even though it seemed impossible the way how fast it was coming, all buses and everything. I just crossed, my eyes closed. I did not get hit. Like, there was a force field, and that kept happening. Like, every time I crossed, it was like a force field just stopped these cars. When looking back, like, it seems impossible for a car going that fast to stop right before me. And that kept happening with the crosswalks. And I remember all these crosswalk lights kept going off and like points in different directions. So I kept following them, and it would lead to different churches. And I would just keep doing the same thing, like going there and praying or smashing at the door. And like these things would like leave. And like I was convinced that God wanted me to like reclaim all of his churches and get these demon things away from them. And I kept doing it, and meanwhile, like, they would get like more mad and try to like run me over and stuff like that. And just like a place that would be a ghost town, like all these cars would show out of nowhere and just start speeding towards me, not going by the road rules, like just going off track, like towards me, like they're drunk driving. Like I said, like they were like acting like they're being programmed by a remote control, like a sim game, like just programmed to hurt like one individual, and like moths on a light. It was crazy. And I just thought in my head like I had a big mission, like I was gonna like, because how I said I kept seeing the St. Michael statue. I looked up a lot of information about him, and it says he's like the protector of the church, and like he ends up beating Satan. And I remember I kept seeing that statue everywhere. It was like too much of a coincidence. It would pop up like 3 of them in one storefront. And I had this dragon tattoo on me, and on the statue it's like him stomping a serpent. My name is Michael. And I thought, like, I was looking up information about him, and it was like it's saying like he protects the churches, and he like beats the devil and stuff. So I thought I was such a target because I'm meant to like defeat Satan. And like that's why they were doing this to me so bad. And I remember I kept going to each church and stuff, but the moment I would like get exhausted or lose hope, that's when I would start getting bombarded again. Like it just literally would start over again. Or if I would show a little bit of fear or get anxious or have doubts, it would start all over again. I would start seeing these people out of nowhere, and there would be more and more. The more like hope I lost, and the more I fed into anxiety and fear about the situation really going on, instead of going straight forward and just like strong arming my way through, like assuming this was what God wanted. Like every time I took a break, I would just get bombarded, and it would be people like threatening me, coming up to me like, why are you walking around like that, and like spin my face and like trying to fight me. And I'm just quiet, minding my own business. Like they're all doing this to me like everywhere I went. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm a big enemy of like Satan. I'm meant to like kill him, and that's why he's like panicking. I thought he was like panicking, just trying to send everything he could against me because he knew I was going to destroy him. And he was scared and using like people as puppets to hurt me, because they were acting like they were totally brainwashed, not acting normal, didn't look normal, looked like they died. So yeah, after that I just kept going, but I'm not God or anything. Like I run out of energy, like, and I was still weak and going without sleep, so I'd get exhausted and be like, what am I doing? Like, what is going on? And